Darwin's theory of natural selection. Darwin formulated the theory of origin of species by natural selection in 1859. To explain some of the phenomena which were not suitably explained by natural selection, Darwin proposed some more theories. These are theory of pangenesis, theory of sexual selection, and theory of artificial selection. Theory of pangenesis. To explain how the characteristics are transmitted from parents to the offspring, Darwin proposed pangenesis theory. According to this theory, each and every cell of the body produces minute primordia called gemmules or pangene. These gemmules from all the parts of the body are carried by the blood to the gonads, where these accumulate in the germ cells. Each gamete represents minute replica of parent's body. Theory of sexual selection. Darwin presumed that there is always a contest among males for the possession of female. For this reason, they have developed various methods to attract the female. Some are beautifully colored, in other species, they are provided with horns or they exhibit different attractive behaviors or produce sound. This results in sexual dimorphism, which is very common in animals. Artificial selection. Darwin recognized artificial selection exercised by human beings as the commonest method for improving the races of domestic animals and cultivated plants and producing new varieties. He presumed that if new races could be developed by artificial selection, the same is possible in nature. Weismann's theory of continuity of germplasm. Considering the futility of Darwin's theory of pangenesis, August Weismann, a staunch supporter of Darwin, proposed that the cytoplasm of animal body is differentiated into somatoplasm and germplasm. The germplasm produces gametes which transmit the characteristics of parents into the offspring. The remaining body of the organism is formed of somatoplasm. Weismann also emphasized that only those changes which occur in the germplasm are heritable. Changes occurring in the body, some are somatoplasm, due to environmental effect are not inherited. The essential features of the theory can be summarized as under: germplasm and somatoplasm. Weismann proposed that the organisms comprised of two types of protoplasm: the germplasm present in the germ cells only and which is passed on to the offspring, and the somatoplasm, the protoplasm forming remainder of the body that plays no role in heredity. The germ cells of the two parents unite during reproduction and form the zygote or fertilized egg. During development, zygote divides into two daughter cells, each of which receives an equal share of germplasm. Through germ cells, a continuity of germplasm is maintained generation after generation. Presence of determinants. Situated in the germplasm are minute complex structures. These are known as determinants. The determinants can be compared with the present day chromosomes. The characteristics of the organisms are represented in the determinants in the form of minute physiological units, the determiners equivalent to genes. Immortality of germplasm. The germplasm is immortal because it perpetuates from one generation to the next through meiotic division. The germplasm is maintained generation after generation. The somatoplasm is mortal and dies with the death of the organism. Only those variations which appear or which are introduced in the germplasm, germinal or heritable variations, can be inherited, and not those which appear in the somatoplasm. The germplasm is composed of IDs, that is, equivalent portions of germplasm contain all kinds of determinants present in the parent body or which are responsible for the development of characteristics in the offspring. In a fertilized egg, ideas from both the parents are contributed in equal amounts. De Vries' theory of mutation. Darwin, in the theory of natural selection, described the occurrence of variations, but he did not explain the method of their origin. Moreover, he emphasized on small and cumulative variations. Hugo de Vries suggested that variations which are important for evolution are sudden and large, which he called mutations or saltations. He proposed mutation theory in 1886 for the origin of a species. Carl Nageli and Wenger Gulick emphasized the presence of some inner directive which guides the course of evolution independent of environment. Recapitulation theory of Haeckel. Ernst Haeckel proposed that ontogeny recapitulates phylogeny. That means the development of the individual repeats the evolutionary history of the race, condensing some stages and eliminating the others. Theory of orthogenesis. According to the theory of orthogenesis, the variations, or in other words, the evolutionary changes, occur along certain definite lines, guided by some undefined or inherent mystical force. The term orthogenesis was proposed by Haeckel in 1893. There were two views regarding orthogenesis. Carl von Nageli believed in the presence of some mystical principle of progressive development in the living organisms which brings about the particular specialization. The theory is merely mythical and has no scientific basis. Theodor Eimer was of the opinion that lines of evolution are determined by laws of organic growth, aided by inheritance of acquired characters, and proceed in specific direction. In certain cases, directional evolution has resulted to an enormous increase of size of horns, which has ultimately proved to be harmful to the organisms and has led to their destruction. Isolation theory. The role of isolation in evolution was first emphasized by M. Wenger. He stated that any factor or mechanism which separates the individuals of a species into groups so that these are unable to intermingle and interbreed constitutes the isolating mechanism and is helpful in progress of evolution. It was supported by Jordan, Slog, Gulick, and Crompton.